guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Today I'm going to be sharing 4 makeup tips that I use personally to ensure that my makeup and my clients' makeup always comes out as flawless as possible. And I wanted to share that with you guys, you know, if anyone's interested or was needing help or any tips on how to elevate their makeup. So with all that being said, let's get right into it. All right, tip number 1 is to blend with a sponge and a brush. So I know most people prefer one or the other, like a beauty blender or a brush, or like some type of sponge and a brush. But I find that using both makes my makeup look even better than if I were to just use one or the other. And I used to be very much one or the other. Like I kind of go in and out of using a beauty blender and a brush, but lately I like only do both. Like I will, every single time I do my makeup or someone else's makeup, I use some type of sponge and a brush. And the reason why is because it just overall helps the base look way more blended and seamless. And the sponge will soak up any extra product in case you like did too much, and the brush is going to blend away any harsh lines, which is how I did my blush today. I basically it was a cream blush. I put a couple dots on, and then because it looks so like, I'm sorry not to like toot my own horn or anything, but I'm sorry, like the blush she eats, yeah. So what I did was put a couple drops of my cream blush. Then I used a brush to initially, you know, spread it out. And then I used a beauty blender, a damp beauty blender, and soften the edges. So, and yeah, like look how just like seamless and like, I don't know, like I'm sorry, that just eats like real bad. It would have looked fine if I just did one or the other, but if you really want to take your makeup to the next step, use both, because it is going to blur those lines. It's going to make your makeup less cakey, look just way more blended overall. And yeah, and for those wondering, I am actually a professional makeup artist in film and TV, so I promise I actually know what I'm talking about. You know, I wouldn't just tell y'all some lies. I've been working in film and TV for 4.5 years now, and I know, you know, that's not as long as some other people, but I did go to makeup school, graduated in 2021, and I've been working in film and TV since 2020. So yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, just in case anyone was wondering, you know, how I know what I'm talking about, that's how. Moving on, that was step 1. So yes, use a brush and a sponge of some sort to blend your base. It is amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend. It makes your skin look so smooth and blurred and just, yeah. So definitely do that if you are not doing that already. Tip number 2 is to take your time when you do your base. So basically, I find that, you know, if you're in a rush, it's totally okay. If there's like something that you could take your time on versus rushing, I would say take your time on your base and rush other things. I feel like the base is the most important, like one of the most important parts of the face, if not the most important part. So it's best that you take your time on that. It's okay if you want to rush everything else, but like foundation, concealer, take your time if you can, because that makes a world of a difference. Like I'm telling you, when I'm able to really take my time, make sure everything is blended, everything is covered, you know, like I don't know, that's when my base be really looking good, when I'm not rushing. So that's my second tip, is to take your time on your base if you can. If you're in a rush, you know, it's okay. But if you have time, take extra time, really making sure you're blended and you're getting in the creases, all the little small areas, like, you know, making sure your jawline is, and your neck has product, you know, all that stuff. Tip number 3 is to use a setting spray and a fixing spray when you're doing your makeup, because a fixing spray is what's really gonna make your makeup last. Setting spray is what makes your makeup look good and like kind of makes all the powders and stuff blend together. But the fixing spray is what actually makes your makeup stay in place for long periods of time. So some recommendations I have for fixing sprays is the Kryolan fixing spray. They have an aerosol version and like a regular spray version. Ben Nye Final Seal is a personal favorite of mine that I have used on set. There's the EBA Pro Seal that I have also used on set, and I really like that one. But yeah, so those are my top 3: Kryolan Fixing Spray, EBA Pro Seal, and Ben Nye Final Seal. Those are some really, really good fixing sprays. And then setting sprays are, you know, like there's NYX. They have a lot of good setting sprays. There's the e.l.f. Power Grip. That's really good. Milani has some that are really good. So yeah, pick any. It doesn't really matter which ones. Just pick one of each, and that is really gonna make your makeup look bomb and stay for really, really long amounts of time, especially in like the heat, humidity, stuff like that. Fixing spray is what's gonna actually keep your makeup like set and staying and like really just not budging. And my last tip of the video, there will most likely be a part 2, so keep a look out for that if you're interested. But the last tip for this video is to let your concealer dry down for at least 30 seconds before you blend. And the reason I say that is because when it dries down a little bit, it's less likely to get blended away when you blend, because when it's really, really wet, the sponge or brush or whatever can like pick up on it more. But when it's like a little bit more tacky, it'll stay, and the coverage will actually be like really what it's supposed to be, because it doesn't really get blended away. I love doing that. This is especially for the full coverage girlies. You know, if you're like one of those like clean beauty, clean makeup like girls, this probably isn't for you. But for the girls who do like medium to full coverage, soft glam, stuff like that, let your concealer dry down for at least 30 seconds and then blend it in like outwards motions, and that will make sure that it stays, the coverage will stay where it needs to stay, and then you gently drag out the product up on your cheek. So yeah, so yes, those are my 4 tips for today. So just to do a quick rundown, we got blending with a beauty blender and a sponge to make sure everything is well blended, balanced, and looks airbrushed, and you know, all that. Step 2 is to take time on your base. If you can, take your time. You know, the base is really like kind of the most important part. And you really want to make sure that that's looking good. So if you can, take a little bit extra time, slow down, make sure you're getting everything that needs to be got, all the crevices, all the creases, blending, you know, back here and under and your hairline and all that stuff. Because the more time you take on it, the better it will look. Step 3 was to use a setting spray and a fixing spray, which will make sure that your makeup looks good and all the powders are blended in, but also that it's actually gonna stay for long periods of time, especially if you work a lot, long hours, you know, you don't wanna be touching up your makeup. If you need your makeup to last long, get a setting spray and a fixing spray. If you need recommendations for setting sprays, let me know in the comments and I will give you some. And I already gave some recommendations for fixing sprays, but if you need a list of it, let me know and I can put that in the comment section as well. The 4th tip was to let your concealer dry down for at least 30 seconds before you blend. And that is gonna make sure that you aren't blending away too much product accidentally. And keeping all the coverage that is supposed to be there. So yeah, that is the end of today's video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, anything. Let me know in the comment section and I will be happy to respond. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. I try to plug my Instagram sometimes. I'll put it over there on the screen somewhere. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can get it.